I have a close friend named Mr. Min, who just turned 65. He's always been a meticulous person with an incredible memory. Back in his younger days, he worked as an accountant and was known throughout the neighborhood for keeping track of every little expense in his head, no notebook needed. Even after retirement, his sharp mind remained intact. He could still read without glasses, remember every grandchild's birthday, and started each morning with a few pages of crossword puzzles in the newspaper. But recently, I started noticing something off. One morning, Mr. Min stopped by my house, but stood outside the front door for nearly 10 minutes because he couldn't remember where he'd left his car keys. At first, I brushed it off, thinking maybe he was just preoccupied with something. But a few days later, during a family dinner, he looked at his youngest granddaughter and called her by the wrong name. And not just any name, he accidentally used the name of an old classmate from elementary school. Everyone laughed it off in good spirit, but I couldn't laugh. Because deep down, I knew when little mix-ups like that become frequent, it's no longer just normal forgetfulness. It's a sign that something deeper might be happening in the brain. And chances are, it could be the early stages of dementia, a condition that doesn't hurt right away, but slowly erases your memories, bit by bit, like sand slipping through your fingers. You may not know this, but every 3 seconds, someone in the world is diagnosed with dementia, with Alzheimer's disease being the most common form. What's even more important is that neurologists say nearly 40% of dementia cases are preventable or can be significantly delayed if we recognize the early signs and make small changes to our daily lifestyle. None of us want to wake up one day and look at a loved one only to realize we no longer recognize them. None of us want to live in a world where our most cherished memories slowly fade away. But what if I told you this? By maintaining just a few simple daily habits, you could actually slow down that process. Would you believe it? Something as simple as taking a slow walk for 15 to 30 minutes every morning, or eating a modest meal filled with leafy greens and grilled fish instead of deep-fried food, or just spending 5 minutes a day calling an old friend, playing a board game, solving a crossword, or sitting quietly in meditation. These seemingly small things are actually powerful medicine for an aging brain. And the best part is you can start today. No need for a big, dramatic change. No need to do everything all at once. Just one habit. One small change. One first step that's enough. In today's video, we'll walk through the most essential insights, the root causes of dementia, how to recognize the early warning signs, and most importantly, 7 simple but scientifically backed habits that can help slow memory decline and cognitive loss after age 60. You don't need a medical degree to understand any of this. You don't need a fortune or loads of free time. All you need is a little care for yourself, a little courage to change, and a little belief that your memory, your mind still has so much left to protect and nourish. So are you ready? Let's begin this journey, not just to preserve your memory, but to hold on to the moments, the joy, and the very essence of who you are fully and completely, even at 60, 70, or 80 and beyond. But before we get to prevention, let's start with the most important question of all. What exactly is dementia? Many people believe forgetfulness is just part of getting older, that mixing up names, misplacing things, or forgetting appointments is simply a result of aging. But the truth is dementia is not a normal part of aging. Dementia is a syndrome, meaning it's a group of symptoms related to declining cognitive function. When it develops, the brain can no longer process information as efficiently as it used to. This affects memory language skills, logical thinking, decision-making, and even emotional regulation and behavior. Among the different types of dementia, Alzheimer's disease is the most common, accounting for about 60 to 70% of all cases. It's a slowly progressing, irreversible condition that silently damages and destroys brain cells over time. Other forms include vascular dementia, which often occurs after a series of small strokes, and rarer types like Parkinson's-related dementia or Lewy body dementia, which also affect movement and behavior. The problem is, many people in the early stages don't even realize something is wrong because the warning signs can be so subtle that they're often mistaken for normal aging. For example, forgetting familiar tasks like misplacing items, leaving the stove on, or walking into a room and forgetting why. Struggling to find the right words, speaking in circles, or using incorrect terms. Frequently feeling disoriented, not knowing where they are or why they're there. Mood swings, anxiety, irritability, or withdrawing socially without a clear reason. While these symptoms may seem minor at first, if they happen often, and especially if loved ones start noticing changes, it's time to take them seriously. So, what causes dementia? Age is certainly a factor. As we grow older, our neurons naturally become more fragile. Genetics also play a role. If someone in your family has had Alzheimer's or another form of dementia, your risk may be higher. But here's the good news. Many other risk factors are related to lifestyle and overall health, and those are within our control. People with high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, lack of physical activity, or social isolation are more likely to develop dementia. Chronic depression, long-term sleep problems, and alcohol abuse can also negatively affect the brain. The best part: most of these risks can be improved. And that's exactly why developing a few simple, healthy habits can make a real difference. So now, let's get into the heart of this video. 7 simple but incredibly effective habits you can start practicing today to help slow down cognitive decline. Habit 1: gentle. Daily movement. Exercise your brain, not just your body. Here's something fascinating that not many people realize. When you go for a walk, take a light bike ride, or even just stand up and stretch your arms and legs every hour. It's not just your body that benefits. Your brain is getting a workout too. Studies have shown that even light physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, nourishing your neurons, encouraging the growth of new connections, and even triggering the release of an important protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which scientists often call fertilizer for the brain. The best part: you don't need to hit the gym, lift weights, or run marathons. For people over 60, the key is staying consistent, moving regularly, doing what's comfortable, and enjoying the process. A rehabilitation doctor I once interviewed said it best: the best thing you can do for your memory after 60 is to walk every day. Walking doesn't just strengthen your legs, it clears your mind. So don't underestimate the power of movement. A short stroll in the park each morning, a few gentle yoga or Tai Chi stretches, light gardening or even housework, marching in place while watching TV. Every bit counts, and your brain will thank you for it. We can start with the smallest steps: a short walk around the neighborhood park each morning, a light qigong or yoga session for just 15 to 20 minutes. If it's raining and you can't go outside, walk in place in your living room, or do a few stretches while watching TV. Even gardening, mopping the floor, or sweeping the yard all count as movement, and often much more beneficial than we think. And remember, exercise doesn't just help with circulation. It also triggers the release of endorphins, the feel-good hormones that lift your mood, reduce anxiety, and bring a sense of calm. When your mood improves, you'll sleep better, think more clearly, and be surprised at how those little memory slips begin to fade. Here's a simple suggestion. Aim for at least 30 minutes of gentle movement every day, broken into 2 or 3 shorter sessions if needed. No need to push yourself, just be consistent. Go at your own pace, and if possible, make it something you enjoy. After all, it's no coincidence that people say, as long as your legs can walk, your memory stays with you. So, starting today, why not schedule something just for yourself? A morning stroll in the park, a quick trip to the local market, instead of asking someone else to go, or even just standing up and pacing the room after every hour of watching TV. Every step you take is a step closer to a clearer, sharper mind. Habit 2. Eat Mediterranean style. Food that feeds your memory. A nutritionist once told me, "We don't just eat to live, we eat to remember." It may sound strange, but it's true. The food you put into your body each day doesn't just affect your heart, liver, or weight. It has a powerful impact on your brain health. Among the hundreds of eating styles out there, the Mediterranean diet has been consistently proven by science to be one of the best for brain health, especially for those over 60. It's not complicated or expensive, but it's rich in vegetables, fatty fish, nuts, fresh fruits, and extra virgin olive oil, while avoiding processed foods, refined sugar, and heavily fried items. Why does this matter? Because foods like salmon, mackerel, and sardines are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, healthy fats that help reduce inflammation in the brain and protect neurons from damage. Extra virgin olive oil contains antioxidants that slow down aging in brain cells. Nuts such as walnuts, almonds, and chia seeds support heart health and memory. And fresh fruits and vegetables loaded with fiber and vitamins improve blood circulation to the brain and help your digestive system work smoothly, which becomes more important as we age. Someone once asked me, "I'm 70 years old. Can I still change my diet and see results?" The answer is, not only can you, but you might benefit even more than younger folks. Many people report feeling clearer, sleeping better, and having fewer memory issues after just a few weeks of healthier eating. Here are a few simple tips to get started. Eat fish at least twice a week. Steamed or grilled is best, rather than deep fried. Use olive oil instead of animal fats when cooking. Every day, try to eat 3 to 5 types of vegetables, prioritizing dark leafy greens and colorful produce. Choose fresh fruit over sugary snacks or desserts. Drink enough water, 1.5 to 2 liters per day, even if you don't feel thirsty. Cut back on salt and sugar. They're the silent enemies of your blood vessels and memory. And most importantly, don't eat while stressed or sad. Make each meal a moment of calm, a way to nourish yourself with kindness. As we grow older, a meal isn't just fuel. It's a form of mental and emotional care. If you want to start today, try this. Replace one dinner with steamed fish, boiled greens, a drizzle of olive oil, and a few slices of fruit. It may feel unfamiliar at first, But after a few weeks, your body and your mind will thank you deeply. Habit 3. Stay socially connected. No one stays sharp in isolation. One quiet afternoon, I visited an elderly man who lived alone in a small house on the outskirts of town. The house was neat and clean, but the silence inside felt heavy. He sat by the window, staring into the distance, a cup of tea by his side, long gone cold. He told me that after his wife passed away and his children moved to other cities, he started forgetting things, a little here, a little there, he said. Sometimes he would walk into the kitchen and forget what he was about to do. It wasn't because he was sick. It wasn't because he was hungry or sleep deprived. It was because he had no one to talk to. That moment struck me deeply, because loneliness doesn't just weigh on the heart, it quietly wears down the mind. A study from Harvard University, one of the longest-running studies on human well-being, found that the quality of our social relationships is the single greatest factor influencing both physical and mental health as we age. Seniors who stay socially engaged have significantly lower risks of developing dementia than those who live in isolation or have limited interactions. When you chat, laugh, share, and listen, your brain lights up on multiple levels: memory, reasoning, emotion, language, processing. It becomes a mental workout, but one filled with joy. That's why keeping people close isn't just about maintaining relationships. It's also one of the most powerful ways to protect your memory and stay mentally sharp in the long run. You don't need to surround yourself with crowds or attend big events. Sometimes it's as simple as calling an old friend to check in, going to the market with a neighbor, or enjoying a morning conversation. Spending time with your grandchildren and telling stories from your youth. Joining a light dance class, a senior activity group, or attending church on Sundays. And if you live far from family, try using technology, Zalo Messenger video calls. Many seniors today are already mastering it. Set a small but meaningful goal for yourself. Have at least one real conversation each day. Not just polite small talk, but a sincere exchange, active listening, even if it's only 5 minutes. Because at our core, we're all wired for connection. And through that connection, our memory, emotions, and joy are nourished day by day. And if you find that it's been a while since your last heartfelt conversation, maybe that's a sign it's time to reach out again. Don't wait. Don't be shy. Because on the other end of that call, someone might be hoping for exactly the same thing. Habit 4. Train your brain. Use it or lose it. There's a woman in my neighborhood, 82 years old, who rides her bike to the park every morning, not for exercise, but to sit quietly and do crossword puzzles. She once told me, "My legs might get weaker, but my mind, I won't let it go idle." That simple sentence stayed with me. We often worry about staying physically active, but forget that our brain needs exercise, just like our muscles. If you stop using it, it weakens. And if your daily life is filled only with routine, repetitive tasks, your brain starts to drift into a kind of hibernation. So, how do you wake up your mind after 60? The good news is you don't need to go back to school or take any exams. All it takes is to engage in mentally stimulating activities that you enjoy and do them regularly. Here are a few ideas. Play Sudoku, chess, checkers, or any thinking-based game you like. Read books, or learn a new skill like weaving, cooking new recipes, writing poetry, or picking up basic English. Try drawing, journaling, or even learning to use a smartphone. Listen to music and try to memorize the lyrics. Retell a story you just watched on TV. These may seem like small activities, but they help form new neural connections in your brain, like building alternative roads when the main highway is blocked. This process is one of the key ways to slow down cognitive decline. A study from Columbia University found that seniors who regularly engage in brain-challenging activities have a 30 to 40% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's compared to those who don't. I often tell seniors, every day, do something that makes you think a little, remember a little, or wonder a little. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just 15-30 minutes a day of brain-focused activities done consistently and with enjoyment is enough. Think of your brain as a garden. If you nurture it gently every day, it will continue to bloom at any age. And if you have someone to play or learn with, even better. Because combining mental activity with social connection doubles the benefit. So don't let your brain go lazy. Be the one who uses your mind. Don't let it passively guide your life into dullness. As long as you're still curious, still willing to learn, still open to discovery, your memory will always have space to grow. Habit 5. Get enough. Quality sleep. Your brain repairs itself while you sleep. An elderly woman once told me, sleep is the one gift we can't buy and can't live without. And she couldn't be more right. If you've ever had a sleepless night, you know that fuzzy-headed feeling the next day, the inability to focus, the short temper, the mental fog. But when poor sleep becomes a pattern, day after day, month after month, it not only makes you tired, it silently erodes your memory and your ability to think clearly. Science has shown that while you sleep, your brain doesn't rest. In fact, it's hard at work cleaning out the waste products that build up during the day, especially a toxic protein called amyloid beta, the very substance that creates plaques in the brain and leads to Alzheimer's. If you don't get enough sleep, or if your sleep is shallow and disrupted, the brain's cleanup process is interrupted. Over time, these toxins begin to build up, making it harder for neurons to communicate effectively with each other. And that's when the earliest symptoms of dementia start to appear. Getting deep, restful sleep is one of the most powerful, natural remedies for your brain. It's free, has no side effects, and yet its impact is nothing short of incredible. So how do you get quality sleep that truly restores you? First, try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. For example, sleep at 10 p.m. and wake up at 6 a.m. Whether it's the weekend or a weekday, maintaining a regular sleep schedule helps your brain ease into deeper sleep cycles. Second limit, caffeine after 3 p.m. That includes strong tea, coffee, and even chocolate. While caffeine helps you feel alert, it can also keep you tossing and turning at night without you realizing it. Third, create a relaxing sleep environment. Use soft lighting. Avoid noise and turn off the TV or phone before bed. Instead, you could listen to calming music, read a few pages of a book, or simply sit and take deep breaths for 5 minutes to settle your mind. And if you often wake up during the night, don't worry. It's completely normal to wake once or twice as we age. What matters most is how refreshed you feel in the morning. That's the real sign of a restorative night's sleep. You might also try keeping a gratitude journal before bed. Write down 3 good things that happened that day. This simple practice not only improves your sleep, but also reduces anxiety and builds emotional resilience. Remember, a well-rested brain is a brain that can heal, renew, and stay sharp. If you're serious about slowing cognitive decline, getting better sleep might just be the easiest and most effective step you can take starting tonight. Habit 6. Reduce stress and anxiety. A calm mind is a clear mind. Have you ever laid in bed, turned off the lights, closed your eyes, yet your mind just wouldn't stop spinning? Thoughts about your kids, your finances, your health, what to eat tomorrow, or what you forgot to do yesterday. And suddenly, it's 2 a.m., and you're still awake. Your body's tired, but your brain feels like a tangled ball of yarn. You're not alone. Anxiety is incredibly common among people over 60, And if not addressed properly, it doesn't just affect your sleep or cause headaches. It quietly chips away at your memory and brain function. When stress is prolonged, your body produces more of a hormone called cortisol. And too much cortisol becomes toxic to brain cells, especially in the hippocampus, the area responsible for storing memories. Over time, chronic stress becomes one of the leading risk factors for dementia. Here's the good news. You can train your mind to calm itself, not with pills, but with gentle, meaningful habits that foster inner peace. Try starting with simple meditation, just 5 minutes every morning. No fancy poses required. Just sit up straight, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Inhale, exhale, slowly, peacefully, greeting the day with calm awareness. If meditation feels unfamiliar, try deep breathing with the 4-7-8 method. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds. Exhale slowly for 8 seconds. This practice doesn't just relax you. It helps regulate your heartbeat, stabilize emotions, and improve sleep. Another powerful tool: gratitude journaling. Each night before bed, write down 3 things you're thankful for, no matter how small. A warm cup of tea, your grandchild's laughter, or simply a quiet afternoon without rain. Acknowledging these positives gently reshapes how your brain handles stress. You can also try listening to calming music, nature sounds, or just sitting on your balcony, watching the clouds drift by. These moments of stillness, seemingly insignificant, are often when your mind rests and renews itself most deeply. And most importantly, limit your exposure to negativity. Avoid consuming endless bad news or engaging in draining conversations. Not everything is worth the cost of your peace of mind. There's a quote I love: "When the mind is calm, everything is calm." But if your inner world is in chaos, even the most peaceful life will feel unsettled. So start with just a few minutes of quiet each day. Don't force yourself to be cheerful. Just learn to be still. In that stillness, your mind will begin to clear like a lake after the wind has passed. Habit 7. Get regular health checkups. Don't let silent illnesses steal your memory. There's something I've heard many older adults say: "I'm already old. I'll just live day by day." What's the point of going to the doctor? I've heard that line more times than I can count from kind, wise people who've lived full lives, but also people who too easily overlook the subtle signs their body is quietly sending them. And what I want to say to them and to you is this: regular health checkups aren't about discovering illness. They're about protecting the precious things you still have. And among them, your memory is one of your most valuable treasures. Many medical conditions, such as high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, poor circulation to the brain, sleep disorders, and depression, can silently damage your brain if left unchecked. And by the time you notice it, those precious pieces of memory may already be slipping away. Hearing loss and vision decline are also risk factors for dementia. When you can't hear or see clearly, you tend to interact less and slowly withdraw from the world around you. Social isolation, as we've seen, is one of the invisible enemies of memory. That's why one of the smartest and most proactive habits you can build after age 60 is to schedule a full health checkup every 6 to 12 months. And when you do, be sure to tell your doctor if you've been feeling more forgetful, having trouble concentrating, noticing mood swings, or experiencing persistent sleep problems. You can also ask for cognitive screening tests like the MMSE, Mini Mental State Exam, neurological assessments, or even just a genuine open conversation with your doctor about how you've been feeling emotionally. Don't be afraid to say you're feeling down, anxious, or confused. Depression in older adults is not a weakness. It's a real condition, and one that can absolutely be treated. It may also help to write down your questions before your appointment, so you don't forget anything important. And if you feel more comfortable, bring a family member or friend to help listen and take notes. Keeping up with regular checkups isn't just about early detection of brain, heart, or metabolic issues. It's also a powerful act of self-love, because sometimes just one abnormal result, if caught early, can help you avoid a long road of decline and memory loss. Real stories, real hope. Mrs. Ngok, age 72, used to be an elementary school teacher. A few years after retiring, she started to notice her memory slipping. At first, it was just forgetting to turn off the stove or mixing up my doctor appointments, she said. But when I called my granddaughter by the wrong name, the one who visited me every day, I knew something wasn't right. Instead of quietly accepting it, she decided to change. She began walking around the nearby lake every morning, learning new recipes from YouTube, meditating for 5 minutes every evening, and meeting her old friends once a week for board games and conversation. Strangely enough, she shared after about 3 months, I didn't just feel clearer in my head, I felt happier. I remembered things I thought I had lost. Maybe it's because I stopped merely existing and chose to live more consciously. Dr. Than, a geriatric specialist with over 20 years of experience, explained, the older adults I see who who maintain sharp memory don't necessarily have lucky genes. What they do have is a proactive attitude. They don't give in. They form small daily habits, and they stick to them. Mrs. Ngok's daughter Mai shared emotionally. My mom used to be irritable and withdrawn. But ever since she started practicing Qigong, eating healthier, and writing a gratitude journal, she's been more lively and cheerful. Everyone in the family noticed the change. She doesn't just remember more, she's more optimistic and full of life, just like before she retired. Stories like this aren't rare, because what truly matters isn't how much we've forgotten in the past, but whether we have the courage to begin again and believe that improvement is always possible if we choose to act. A final message from the heart. Dear friend, we can't turn back time. No one can stop gray hair wrinkles or the signs of aging that slowly make their mark. But there is one thing you can control: your lifestyle. You can choose to give in and let your memory fade. Or you can choose to take back control, starting with the smallest habits, like a morning walk, a healthy meal, a meaningful conversation, or even just a few moments of quiet breathing and a smile at life. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just start with one thing today. Invite a friend or loved one to join you. Encourage each other. Stay committed together. It could be going for a walk, learning a new recipe, or calling each other weekly for a check-in. Because each small action you take today is a powerful step toward preserving your memory, protecting your clarity, and most importantly, safeguarding the joy and dignity of your later years. If you found this video helpful, don't hesitate to click the like button to support us. Subscribe to the channel for more insightful content. Share this video with your loved ones. It might just be the most meaningful gift you can give them today. Thank you for staying with us until the very end. Wishing you clarity, peace, and joy in every moment of your life. Elderly Wisdom Diaries, where wisdom grows with the years. See you in the next video.